Have you ever asked yourself, what can I learn from my kids?
No, they're dumb. No. No, I've never asked myself specifically, like sat down, like, what can I learn from my kids?
Yeah.
I definitely think the things that I do learn from them is just going through parenting with them and trying to like recognize the things that they're doing and stuff like that. See what, they're doing.
It's a callback to the
Yeah.
beginning of the episode
Yeah.
where we're talking about anger and how we're modeling the stuff that we see as kids, right? And so they're great little mirrors because they're literally just moving through life doing exactly what you and Jamie do.
Yep.
And they just do it in the same version, but just in a slightly different way because it's them. And that was one thing that really helped me in all of these like tension spots of frustration with all of my kids, getting really, really curious about what they were doing and how it was just simply learned behavior that they saw in the house that they grew up in, which was with me, right? And that process alone just was like this beautiful, awesome unfolding of awareness, because so many of the spots where I found myself really in contention with all of my kids at the various stages of, them growing up and everything like that were 100% things that either I do or did or that their mothers did. And like the spots that got me the most frustrated and caused the most tension between like me and one of my kids were the things that I did. And then like the next level would be the stuff that they were mirroring from their mothers. That alone was like this massive just aha moment over and over and over again, because it was literally just learning more and more and more about myself by watching what they were doing and learning what they were doing. Because they do just mirror everything that we do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's monkey see, monkey do. That's how they learn, right?
Yep.
They're just growing up modeling all of our actions and behaviors, all of our words, all of our thoughts, all of our emotions, 100% of the time. And it helped me understand myself better. And I started to notice that it also affected, because that's the other thing that I really got stuck with was, I thought I missed the boat so many times with my kids because I made so many mistakes when they were little, and I wish I would have been a different parent and everything like that. But I was still able to shift and change actions and behaviors and then see it modeled in them later on down the road, where it was like the tension point would disappear once I changed my actions and my behaviors. And then I would see them model those things, those changes that I would make. They would model that later on down the road. And I could see like the connection point back and forth where it was like, oh, they finally got that lesson, even though I wasn't like actively teaching them a lesson. It was more about changing how I was behaving and what I was doing, because those little tension points had way more to do with me. And then the really, like I was saying, like the other really big thing that helped me was also recognizing them as complete soul autonomous people. Although they, in a sense came from me and were a part of me, they also were completely individualistic people with own thoughts, experiences, emotions. And yeah, they might be mirroring my actions and my behaviors because that's just what we do as, humans. But seeing them as complete individual people and getting really curious about, rather than thinking about my kids as people that I had to keep safe, I had to teach, I had to raise, to create good humans, to go out into the world, I wanted to see them as individual people and get really curious about them and just learn about them. So then it's like, what can I learn about my kids and how they see the world and how they move through the world and what their experiences are? And really just like I would look at like a friend or somebody new that I met, was like, I want to learn more about them and just get really, really curious about them as individuals. And when I started making some of those shifts, all of my relationships with my kids got better. And I also felt like all of that stress and tension that I would have in the middle of these relationships because I was failing as a father or frustrated by their actions and their choices, all of those kind of different things, a lot of that stress just dissipated and went away, which again, like back to the water bottle conversation, right? I wasn't creating distance anymore. It was creating connection. And I was, making that gap smaller rather than making that gap wider. If you haven't yet, take a moment and subscribe to our channel, click that little notification bell, and check out some of these other clips. Last but not least, we'd really appreciate it if you sent this podcast to somebody else. Share it with a friend, share it with a buddy, and don't hesitate to reach out. The conversations that we have on the podcast are meant to inspire you, but also we want to hear what it brings up for you. Whether you share it in the comment, send us an email, or call us up. But thanks for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode.